baby. Oh, wait, baby. Hey, man, listen. This your boy, Big Nate. This Nate Logic, baby. This the real underground radio station. Oh, wait. Hey, listen, man. You sit back, hold yourself together, man. Get yourself together. Listen, I got I'm going to tell you, one of the most diversified, one of the most intelligent. Real talk. I normally don't just put that tag on many people and say how smart I think they are. And I also say this: I don't put this tag on. It ain't many people that'll make me just shut up. I'm gonna just say it. If you ever, because I don't be having the energy. I ain't gonna say the energy. I don't be having the bandwidth to go back and forth with this dude. Like some people you just know how to. I don't know, man. I don't know. He's just a smart ass dude, man. Hey, one of my favorite people, man. One of my favorite bros, man. My dog, Attorney Esquire Efrem Neely. Esquire Neely. Supervisor Neely.
Oh man, yeah, those were the days.
Spring 90 Cuda.
Ar.
Tossing.
Ar.
Neely, brother Neely, Esquire Neely. Hey, soon to be somebody important in office. Listen, if you need any type of help, a servant of the community, you always see them at every community service event in the community in Palm Bluff, Little Rock. If you need any type of help, I promise you, I put this on everything. Reach out to my dog, man. My dog gonna help. Good brother Neely, Ephraim's gonna help hold you down and do whatever he can to assist you in your situation. I'm excited to sit down and have this conversation with him, man. And I know he's gonna add a lot of good information and value to the conversation and to our listeners and to the people who tapped in with me today. Hey, man, listen, man. Ephraim, how you doing, man? What's up with it, dog?
Nate, I'm doing good today, my brother. Thank you for having me here today. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Thank
man,
you.
I'm excited to finally have you on here. I know I've asked, and you've always said yeah, and so I'll say it just falls on me to follow through with it. And when I seen this particular time coming around, I knew it was essential and important for you to be on here and talk about what you're doing along with several other community organizations. This is a very, very important event, and I definitely want to get to that. But before we get to that, Ephraim, I want to start off and ask you one good question that I've always wanted to know. Where the hell is you from? Because I know you got a story all up and down 40.
Okay. So my mom and dad, they met at AM&N.
AM&N, okay.
So I was born in Pine Bluff.
All right.
My mom a graduate of Southeast Class 66.
Okay.
And my dad graduated from Earl, Arkansas.
Okay.
All
okay.
right, so now it started tying together. So they moved to Little Rock, and I was raised in Little Rock, except for I spent maybe about a year and a half in Earl with my dad because my mom and dad stayed together, which was the best thing ever happened to me because it let me slow down and focus on life.
So you started off in Earl.
I started off in Pine Bluff.
When did you leave Pine Bluff again?
When I was 4.5, 5 years old.
Okay, so hold on. We gonna stop telling everybody from Little Rock and Earl. We're gonna start saying you from Pine Bluff.
Well, if you look at it, check it out. So when I graduated from Central in '88, I came to Pine Bluff.
Right.
I went to UAPB and stuck around there for a little while. And then in '94, I came back to Little Rock. Then I went to Mississippi for 1 year, '99. I came back to Pine Bluff. And I was in Pine Bluff from like 2000 to 2003. And then, that's when I made a career change. Because like you say, I was a superintendent of Tyson Foods.
You were a
hard-working regular guy in Pine Bluff.
I remember
what I'm
that.
supposed to do.
Yep.
I used to work with your mom. So
shout out on the shipping.
Shout out to the moms. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I went to law school. I came back and I started working for the Attorney General for a little while as an intern. Then I worked for Ron Davis Law Firm. And then I went on my own, and I ended up moving back to Pine Bluff in 2018.
Uh
And
huh.
so everything always seemed to come full circle back to Pine Bluff for
So
me, you
that's what I'm
know.
saying. You from Pine Bluff.
Okay, well, you know,
So we're gonna stop saying you from Earl. We're gonna stop saying you from Central and Little Rock.
I'm from all those places,
No,
though. I am.
you spent the majority of your adult life and a good portion of your early years in Pine Bluff. Pine Bluff, we got one.
Yeah, I have spent the majority of my adult life in Pine Bluff. You're right, I have.
Pine Bluff, we got one. What part was before? What part did your folks stay in? And hold on, you got a lot of kin folks in Pine Bluff too.
Well, I had a lot of kin.
I have a rule: if you have more than 10 kin folks in Pine Bluff, you from Pine Bluff.
Okay.
You from Pine Bluff?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Stop trying to front it. Fight it.
I'm not even fronting. I'm accepting it. That's you.
Don't start that lawyer shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, Efrem, when they say people should, you never want to be the smartest person in the room.
Right.
How do you avoid not being the smartest person in the room?
Because you give me too much credit. I'm just a regular guy who work hard at trying to be, me. That's all. So I don't know about I'm the smartest person.
You don't think so? Well, yeah, I can see that.
Thank you.
So Efrem, man, what you were already in your career, already working. What pushed the idea that you wanted to go back after you had been out of college? What, 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
What pushed you to go to law school of all things?
Well, what initially pushed me was when I was working at Tyson Foods, we won't go into it like that. I just had this epiphany of like how I was gonna be able to go to law school and then help people at Tyson Foods, where there were like unions or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was really about unions in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
and so I kind of just like I left Tyson. It was the right thing for me to do, and I got accepted into law school like that next year, and so I went. And so I just, in my mind, my avenue for helping, which started off with just like an idea of helping the people that I was working with, it expanded once I got out, though. It just took me to law school. And so law school took me to doing all the other stuff that I do. So, hey.
I specifically remember you at the Tyson Christmas parties my mama used to help throw.
Correct.
I remember it.
Yeah.
You and maybe one or two other bros.
Yes.
I remember that. Well, they used to cook of them things.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, man, I remember that. I can see. I remember how close knit that Second Street group was.
Yeah, we were small. We were close.
That's the people that worked at Second Street at Tyson were very close. Miss Betty LeGrone, who we just lost recently. Shout out to Miss LeGrone and her family. We just lost her. My auntie, Maxine Taylor. I'm sorry. I think it was Maxine Taylor. It was a stalker then.
She didn't pass, though.
No, she's still with us. Brenda Reddix.
The funny thing is, since I've been a lawyer 15 years now. This is my 16th year, and that's how long it's been since I left Tyson. But I represent a lot of the people from Tyson that I worked with back then, so that's how it also comes full circle. They trusted me when I was a superintendent, and they trust me now. So I think that my mom gave me a good foundation where people can depend on what I say and what I do. Not that I'm gonna mislead you, but I'm gonna be there for you and make sure we get it right.
And I think that's important because that speaks to who you are as a person. Where you're sometimes when people get in these positions, they get too high up and forget the roots and the ground where they came from and started at. So that says a lot about you as a person and as a leader, that you can still sit high and look low, and not only just look low but walk amongst the regular folk. Sometimes you get to being a lawyer and
I'm just a regular person, but I just got a little bit more education. It's still the same regular person.
Still the same regular dude, man, and that's powerful in itself. What we wanted to bring you here for, man, was a very important event. And this was this event where you guys are sealing records. Am I correct?
Yeah. So the deal with this event is that in other Central Arkansas, they have events for people all the time to try to make those people go back to status quo a whole before they had whatever fortunate thing happen to them where they may have encountered a criminal charge or a criminal conviction.
Right.
Well, we want to do something in the Delta area, and it was a wonderful thing because Grenita Johnson from the University of Arkansas School of Law, she reached out to me, and of course, I was glad to be a part of it. And then you have Tabitha Lee
Mm-hmm.
from the Delta Justice Center. She's really a driving force in
Mm-hmm.
this Southern Arkansas Delta region type,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get people back whole. And so this is just an opportunity for us, along with legal aid, to help people uh, get their records cleaned up. Because the first thing that happens to you when you get your record messed up with a criminal activity is that you can't get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And in our area, the number one thing that we need to do is get our people employable.
Mm-hmm.
They bring jobs in, but we gotta have the people, the manpower to get in there to make it work. And in Pine Bluff, particularly, we need to have more employable people so that we can grow Pine Bluff
Right.
not back to what it was, but to something even better.
Right. Right. And I think the employing the workforce is challenging, and if your record, and with it being as competitive and challenging as it is, if you have something like something on your record holding you back from getting those higher wage or higher end jobs, that's going to actually become a detriment to not only you personally but the community. So that's why something like this, while it may seem so small, is really so huge. If you can't, because if you can't get a good job and you're stuck at the labor end and you can't level up and get to the next stage, and it's all because of a mistake you may have made when you were in high school, or first year of college, or whatever, at your younger age, and you can't get that next level job or that higher paying job because of that. So this is an opportunity for that record selling thing event to help get that cleared up. Am I correct?
You are correct, but one of the things that me personally, that I like to try to tell the people, because like I seal records all the time, but this is the deal, you know, us sealing your record is a fresh start. Us sealing your record is not like a get out jail free card you to go do it again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If when you get your record sealed, you need to look at that as a chance to restart your life. And when you restart your life, you need to plan it out and find a way not to fall back into the traps that led you to
Mm-hmm.
what you did or whatever happened at first. And that's the heartbreaking part. So what we have to do is not only help these people get their records clear, but we have to educate them on how important it is for them to keep their records clear, and the benefit it is for them to be a person that's status quo without a criminal conviction on their record hindering them from being productive.
Yeah. What are some of you say you do this all the time, right?
Hmm.
So I would assume there's normally a charge or something like that, and this event is free.
Correct.
Okay.
So in this particular event, which I was informed that we had a minimum of 105 people who had already signed up and had all their paperwork submitted and have been approved to come in. And this doesn't include, people who walk in or whatever, in which it would be better, for you to come in, because the event only lasts 3 hours, I believe. So it's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on September 16th.
Hmm.
So if you didn't have an opportunity to sign up online and get all your paperwork done and get everything filled out to make sure that you are a candidate, what you can do is you can go by whatever clerk's office that's associated with where your charge was committed, and you can ask for your sentencing order. And that will give us an idea of, if we can help you or not. Also, the clerk's office can provide certain forms, which would be very helpful to make sure that if we can fit you in and we can help you, we can help you. We want to
Hmm.
try to help as many people as possible.
Right. How much? Okay, so let's say somebody didn't know about this event and weren't able to. How much? Give me a ballpark figure of how much this may have cost without this event.
It depends on the attorney. I would say at a minimum, I would just say at a minimum $500. And that's just for the attorney to do the work. You know what I mean? Because
Wow.
actually, what happened is the legislature changed it so now that completing the paperwork, excuse me, and submitting it is free of charge.
Right.
You just have to know the steps to take to get everything done. That's it.
So basically, if the average cost for this is $500, right?
Correct.
And you guys have already signed up 100 people, 105 people.
Correct.
So,
3 zeros on.
wow. So y'all done really gave over $5,000 away.
5,000. We said
Hold on, I'm doing the math.
500 times 100. Yeah.
Y'all giving all that away?
Yeah.
Y'all ain't charging these folks $100 or something.
No.
It's
no.
free.
Yes.
FREE.
Yes. And the thing is, we have actual attorneys who are volunteering their time to come in and ensure that the
What?
paperwork is correct. And not only that, we have the clerk's office volunteering to have people come in and sign off on it to have it filed. And not only that, we have 4 judges right now that I know of who will come in and actually sign those orders so that the clerks can go ahead and get them done. So basically, what they're trying to do is it's going to be a one-stop shop. Get it done, get it signed. This way you don't have to go through the steps because normally, you have to file it, then you have to give it to the prosecutor office, then you have to give it to the arresting law enforcement agency, then you have to wait for the prosecutor office to determine they're going to sign off on it, and then you have that little waiting period. But now, with the city attorney, the prosecuting attorney, the judges, the lawyers, and the clerks all being in one place, we'll be able to, speed the process up and put a person back at status quo like that.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait, baby. You done took me too fast.
Mm-hmm.
A process that would normally take up to a month or so
Correct.
is now being done like that
In a matter of days.
in a matter of days.
But the paperwork and stuff all being completed and signed off on in a matter of whatever time it takes to get it done.
In a matter of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You just took me way too fast, baby.
So basically, just imagine we get 105 people back to status quo. That's 105 people who are now eligible for jobs they wouldn't have been eligible for loans or grants or anything, things they wouldn't be eligible for. They'll be to go to school, sign their FAFSAs on the question where it asks, have you been convicted of certain stuff? They'll be able to say no. And so this helps our community. And if we can get this 105 plus people done, and then we continue this process, and another thing is, think about it like this: once we get these people back to status quo, they can get their voter rights back in place. So now you got people who are participating in the democracy again too. So you get 2 for 1.
Do we have someone there to sign them up to vote as well?
No, that we don't have. But that's just a matter of going down to the circuit clerk's office.
Y'all really doing something.
Trying.
Ain't no trying. You already got 105 people signed up. Do the math. That ain't 500. That ain't 5,000.
Well, that was Friday when
That's
when we had
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
105.
whoa.
Today is what, Wednesday? So today I don't have a count, but that was last Friday. We had 105. Yep.
Our goal, what we need to do is we need right now anybody who needs to get their record sealed. If you don't even know if they eligible, anybody you know right now that's got something on their head, they can't move forward, they can't get the apartment or the home they need to get. Whatever the case, you need to share this with them right now. Let them know that they need to tap in with us, and so they can get this information, so they can go get their record sealed, so they can get a better job, they can get a new home, they can get registered to vote. They can really level up.
Mm-hmm.
You can really level up if you go ahead and get yourself together. What all do they need to bring?
Well, the people who already signed up, they already have their stuff. But it would be helpful if you had your sentencing order from whatever it was you had going on at that time.
Right.
A disposition or something saying that you completed your probation and your ID. And so pretty much that's what you'll need for this part of the process, because we need all that because the forms require that you put on there, the case numbers, the charges, the statutes that were violated, and all that's on the sentencing orders.
So let me ask you this. Even if it was a Okay, so even if it was something like, what kind of charges cannot be removed?
Okay, so first, just know that the first thing that can't be removed is if you go to prison. I
Okay.
mean, it used to be called expungement, but really it's a sealing your records now, and so you got felony sealing and you got misdemeanor sealing. So if you get on probation and you don't have cla- a class Y felony, a class A felony, a B non-drug related felony, a violent felony, a sexual felony, or an unclassified felony with more than 10 years max sentence, then you are eligible to get your record sealed if you get on probation. But understand that if you go on probation and you get a revocation, which means that you don't do what you're supposed to do somewhere in there, you're not eligible. You have to get a pardon from the governor. But if you're one of the other people who are not in that list I just named, and you get probation, then you go through it and complete it, pay all your fines, any community service, do all your community service, then you are eligible and will be able to get your record sealed.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And that's for the felonies. The misdemeanors got a different qualification.
So, but you can get depending on what type of felony it is,
Mm-hmm.
you can get that taken off.
Yep, as long as it didn't fit in there. And for the misdemeanors, as long as you're not convicted of a negligent homicide, battery in the third degree, indecent exposure, public sexual indecency, sexual assault in the fourth degree, domestic battery in the third degree, or a DWI or a DUI, then you can get those sealed within 60 days after you complete, whatever the sentence is, the little probation, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have one of those and you get probation, you can still get it sealed, but you have to wait 5 years plus another 60 days. Now, I don't think the 60-day thing is quote unquote, there, but
Right.
it's the 5 years that's the important part of it. You have to wait after you finish it to 5 years.
So let me ask you a question, because I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not familiar, and if somebody may not be familiar with what all they went through, would you suggest they still come?
Yes, because it's just like anything else. Unless you ask, you won't know.
Right.
So at least if you come and you find out, then at least that's a question you don't have to worry about.
Right.
Beating
Right.
yourself up about it in the future.
Right. So even if you don't know what type of felony or what type of charge you got, go find out. Go to this event, get the information. At least it's better to know than to not know.
Correct. And with the information age, you can also go to Arkansas Crime Information Center, and you can click on forms. And when you look on in those forms, it'll tell you about things like getting your record sealed. It'll tell you about things like getting pardons and stuff. And you can actually read through those forms, and you can see if you fall in there somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
there are tools out there for a person who wants to know. Excuse me, beforehand. But if you don't have access to those tools, or you don't really know how to access that, then come and we'll help you with it.
See that man, I am in awe of something like this because I feel like so many of us fall in these different traps, and you get in these traps and sometimes it feel like it's no way out. Here's the chance for you to get up out of there.
Correct.
Here's the
Correct.
chance for you to get up out of there and start making some serious changes, not only for yourself but for your family. If you don't have any kids, your little cousin them, and you can lead by example. And unfortunately, you might need to bring your little cousin them.
Yes.
So,
This is gonna help. This is really gonna help. If we can get this going on a regular basis,
mhm.
this could really help the workforce in our area,
Mm.
and that's one of the things that we need to improve to help Pine Bluff move forward, to provide a more viable workforce, to bring industry here, and have a workforce
Mhm.
to fill those jobs.
Mhm.
We got the casino here, and we fill some of those jobs, but they're bringing people in from other places to fill some jobs when we really want our people
Mhm.
to fill those jobs,
Right.
especially the higher, more specialized jobs.
Right.
We
Like the
want
dealer positions and things like that.
correct. We
And
want to see more of our people in those jobs, and they starting to work on the hotel for it now, and so those are even more jobs they're bringing in. We just need to get our workforce up, and I think that by doing that, I mean, I'm telling you, it could move Pine Bluff, Jefferson County, because Pine Bluff affects everything around it. You know what I'm saying?
We're
So
the hardship of the Delta.
yeah, so us working together to move Pine Bluff, and I'm saying Pine Bluff, but really this clinic is for the Delta, all South Arkansas. Anybody want to come that we can help them
Southeast
who
Arkansas.
got charged in those areas or whatever.
Right.
It's for that, but I'm just, I'm just more about let's get us a workforce together so we can be a valuable community in the eyes of people who want to come in and put businesses here.
How often do they do these?
There's no particular time. It's just a matter of people having the idea, people putting forth the effort, organizing it, and making it happen. And this right here looks like it's going to be one of the biggest ones we've had in a while.
How so? If you don't mind me asking, for the people that's already signed up, was this like advertised? Was this information given to the places and that it needs to go to? For instance, like, did someone take this information to the drug court or any of these different places? Because I know it's important that the people who need to hear it. And that's why it was important for me to bring you here, because I know what my audience and my platform and the people who tap into the real underground radio station, often we're the forgotten ones. We're the demographic of around 18 to 35, guys who still out here in some of these more challenging areas. And sometimes people take us for granted when we're the most affected of things like this. We're the ones in this and that demographic and that age group from that socioeconomic standard group who over policed, who are the ones who need to try to get their record sealed, and that's why it's important for us to reach this group.
So that's a really packed question because you added a lot to it. So as I try to unpack it, let me just try to. So the first part of what you said. So yes, we have put it in every form of media that we can think to put it in to try to reach as many people as possible. Yes, in fact, since you asked, drug court is well aware of this because Judge Gwynn, who is over drug court, is one of the judges who will be signing off. So we have Judge Gwynn, Judge Dennis, Judge Kearney, Judge Bridgeforth. So we have judges in the courts who are aware of the people. Now, when you start talking about that 18 to 35 demographic, I mean that's a tender spot for me because just doing research on elections and stuff. What happens in Jefferson, Lincoln County, especially Jefferson County, is that the 60% or so of the voters are over 60 years old. And they kind of control the vote. That 18 to 35-year-old demographic is only 10 to 12% of the vote. So you got 18 to 35-year-olds who are basically the majority, but they are the minority when it comes to exercising the right to vote.
Wow.
Yes.
18. So they're just not turning out to vote.
No.
And they're allowing other people to make decisions for how they're educated, policed, taxed, and all these other things.
Correct. I mean, when you say it like that, it makes it even more powerful. How it affects us. That whole demographic is just missing out on the experience or the opportunity to affect what's going on around them just by participating in the vote. It's like I guess it's a generation where we lost the fact that voting was so important, and we just didn't know. In my generation, voting was important. When I got turned 18, I voted ever since I was 18. The generation before mine, voting was even more important because that was a change from the civil unrest, black people being oppressed, women being oppressed. So when all those rights to vote came about, they held on to that, and they are the people who are the voters now. And so when you look around, what you see is a product of the voters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you look at the offices, who's in office, or who's making the decisions for the cities and the counties and things of that. Those are products of the voters. And so, either what do? I mean, you can try to get the older voters to see that it's change is good, and look around and see where we are? Are we gonna stay stagnant where we were yesterday? Are we gonna look forward and be more? You know, be
Mm-hmm.
more than what we ever were. Let's not be stuck on. Let's at least make stuff like it used to be. No, let's not make stuff like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make stuff better
Than what it
we
used
used
to
to
be.
be. So
Right.
let's don't look back and say, "Oh man, we can get it back like it was." No, we don't want that.
One of our listeners asked about aggravated assault. Would that be something that can have be sealed?
It's a violent offense. Aggravated assault is a class D felony, I believe, and it could be sealed if it's a probation offer. The question is though, without me, well, I go pull it. It don't matter. I can tell you exactly what it is. We don't need that way. I just pull it. You know, the best thing about being a lawyer is knowing where to look for the information, and I got it right here. So, so
So what we're doing now is one of our listeners, Bobby Lowe, he wants to know.
oh,
Um,
we're not answering questions for Bobby Lowe.
hey, get off my dog. He'll be up here in a second anyway.
He don't pay his lawyers.
Oh man, don't do that, man. Don't do that.
Hey,
So, so while you're looking, while you're looking that up,
hold on, I'm like, okay, stop, go ahead. I'm like,
while you looking that up,
so
what?
I'm about to ask you. I got it right here.
Okay.
Okay, so aggravated assault means that somebody caused imminent apprehension of grievous bodily harm or death to a person with a deadly weapon, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, it hadn't always been considered one of the violent offenses, but it can be considered a violent offense. And with that being said, it carries less than a 10-year sentence because it's only 0 to 6. So that would mean that a person who had that, if they had a First Offender Act associated with it or were eligible for a First Offender Act, that means that they can get probation. As soon as they finish their probation, they could get their record sealed. But if they don't have a First Offender Act associated with it and they get sentenced on it in a probationary manner, then they have to wait 5 years after they complete the sentence and any payments or whatever, and then they can get it sealed. So to answer the question, yes.
Oh, so that's good. So if you have an aggravated assault charge, and you've had 5 years, and you've completed your probation,
And paid all your fines.
and paid all your
all your
fines,
costs and all up on your probation fees
Yep.
and done everything you're supposed to do. This the key though that people don't understand. It only starts to count once you finish doing everything you're supposed to do.
Okay.
So like if you finish your probation and you don't pay your fine off, and then you come back another year later and you pay your fine off, and then they close your probation, it doesn't go from the 5 years that you went. It go from the 6 years when you paid off your fine.
oh wow,
Everything has to be completed.
okay, okay. So I think that's important and that might
Am I
be,
on camera?
yeah, yeah. They hear you. You can't see yourself.
Oh, I don't even have it on here. I'm looking up this stuff. I didn't want to do that.
Oh my bad. But yeah, you are on camera, so you're actually on this camera. They can see you, man.
Okay.
Yeah, they see you. Yeah, tighten yourself
No,
up,
I'm just
dog.
playing.
Tighten up.
No.
Tighten up, no.
I'm just playing.
This is your boy Big Nate with the Real Underground Radio Station, baby. This is the Nate Logic. Hey, make sure y'all share this right now. I got my dog Efrem Neely on here, attorney Esquire Neely. So, yeah, man, listen. We're talking about the. Just had a brain.
Constitutional Day.
So this Constitutional Day.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Constitution Day Record Sealing Clinic.
Right. Where is it?
Okay, I'm glad you said that. So we look for places, and I reached out to a good friend of mine, Jamal Gordon, because, excuse me, when I do attend church without going to, my other churches, my home, I go to Old St. James.
I love
most
it.
of the time.
Pastor Smith. Shout out, Pastor.
Yeah, David Smith. And so that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, so Jamal, he had put me in contact with Miss Thelma Cook, who used to be a bailiff over at the court. And Miss Cook helped us organize it with the approval of Pastor David Smith. And we want to thank Pastor Smith. We want to thank Miss Cook. We want to thank Jamal Gordon. And we want to thank all the church family of Old St. James. Because
That's actually my home church.
they allowed us to do this project at their great facility. And they got a new facility. It's really nice.
It really is.
Yeah, it really is. And we were really, really appreciative that they open their doors and let us come in and do this project at their facility. And I think that's why it's my when I go there to church there a lot.
I really appreciate Pastor Smith, Jamal, and Miss Cook as well. I think it's important for us always to be able to go back to those things and those groups like the church, who can always say, "Hey, no matter what you got going on, if you're doing good for the community, you can do good here." So the church, as much flack as a lot of people give churches and whatnot, the church in a lot of cases do open their doors for service to be done and work to be done. So, shout out to Pastor Smith and everybody at Old St. James, man.
I agree.
That's beautiful. When is this event again?
So okay, so we're gonna be there September 16th. That's this Saturday, and the event starts at 9. Of course, the people who are gonna be working the event will get there early and try to make sure we have everything set up. I'm not gonna promise refreshments and snacks and things of that nature, but it's gonna be a good environment.
I'm not
It's gonna
coming.
be some very See, I just got in trouble in the car for stuff like that. I can't even respond. But anyway, I can't promise snacks, but it'll be some very professional attorneys volunteering their time for free. It'll be some judges volunteering their time because a judge on a Saturday doing some work is not.
It's not. It's not. Yeah.
So we're gonna have some judges in there. Then the clerk's office, the prosecutor's office, and the city attorney's office. So we want to thank Althea Haddon Scott, Kyle Hunter, and Miss Flo.
Man, and I think that's amazing that shows the effort that others are putting into making Pine Bluff better.
You look at it. We brought some departments together.
Y'all bought the kitchen.
Work together.
Everybody and the kitchen sink. These aren't groups that just. First of all, these aren't groups that just come together. Record sealing, like you said earlier, Efrem, can take months.
It used to didn't be like this. We just had some last year. Matter of fact, we've had at least one in the last year, every year, right? So, I mean, one a year for the last few years. But it's only been partial. It's only been where we get the paperwork filled out for them, but it was never where we were signing off on it and getting it filed with the court the same day. And what does that mean? That means that it's signed off on. That means you don't have to come back to court anymore. It's filed. That means that you already got it in the system. And the only thing you're really waiting for is for the clerk's office to forward it to ACIC. When it goes to ACIC, that's when they look in there and they try to find it, and it's not there.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
You're right.
It's over.
Yes.
Give yourself about a week or two.
I can't give you no time frame, but I do say just check with ACIC and see if it's clear. And once it's sent to them, it's clear. You're able to go put on job application. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? And you would say no. Now there's certain government entities dealing with certain kind of medicines or things of that nature, medical stuff, where they can see behind the seal sometimes because it's important,
Right.
But generally speaking, it's never been convicted ever.
It is. This is a very important thing for people to tune in and make sure that they go get this free service. This free service. Like we said earlier, man, let's say, for instance, you're staying in a challenging neighborhood, right? Mm-hmm. And you've been you can't get your kids out of this neighborhood because you don't have anywhere else to go. And now here's an opportunity for you to really change the game.
I can share this on my page.
Yeah, you can share. You can share this wherever you need to share this.
I'm talking about live right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I could have been here to go.
Yeah, just share it with all your friends, man. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to do it.
I can send it to you on Messenger.
No. I can. It's a delay in it.
Yes. You know we live, right?
I didn't say anything. I was just laughing.
I know you know. I know Efrem. Listen, Efrem is a real live jokester. People, listen. Efrem come in the room. Everybody know if you ain't got no jokes, no good jokes, You better, hey, go ahead and sit down.
Hey, not true. I'm like the most serious person.
What?
I'm serious, then. I'm like the most serious person in the whole world. Don't listen to him.
What? You probably, when you serious yourself when you on the golf course.
Oh Lord.
You probably get a little serious then. If you know you finna lose,
Oh Lord.
yeah, I probably don't even want to be around you then.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious when I take care of my business, my people.
Yeah.
I try to do a good job. I haven't had any ding, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
So being a lawyer, do you feel like you're in your pocket? Is you in your bag, as these young folks would say? Meaning that, do you feel like you're aligned with your purpose being in this field?
Man, I'm just gonna be honest. I, Me being a lawyer, it has to be God's favor because the road I took to get here was not, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to school, I'm going to law school, I'm gonna be a lawyer. So everything that brought me to be an attorney has been all God. And then all the things that have happened to me since I've been an attorney, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's been even more God. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So God plants the seeds, and I don't know, I don't water them, and then they grow. And so all these successes I had, sometimes I'm amazed at, how my life has changed and,
Mm-hmm.
where I am today as opposed to where I was and where I could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that being said,
I beg to
all
differ
thanks
though.
to God, man, here I
You
am.
you said you don't water them.
I think the Lord waters my seeds. I think all I do is just carry them around and make sure they grow.
Hey, however, I, I, I,
I do.
I would almost push back on that and say, you know what? I agree with that. I see your point. I think one of the things that you've always done, even with me personally,
Yeah.
um, is always just been a genuine person.
Right.
And like you said, you plant those seeds, and God been pouring on them.
Yes.
And I can tell you, and I've said this at the beginning of the show, is where you just go in and you just plant those seeds. And anybody, I've seen you do it, even when you didn't know I was looking. I've seen you do it with kids. I've seen you do it with adults. You've
Yeah.
done it with me.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that has that's why you are and have been so successful?
I think that the times that I've had issues have been the times that I stepped off the path that the Lord laid out for me.
Mm.
I think that the successes I have had are the ones where I stayed the path that it was His path, not my own.
Mm-hmm.
Free will let me make decisions sometimes, and I can catch an arrogance where I might do something that I don't need to be doing, but I'm like I'm gonna do it. But then sometimes when you think you shouldn't do something, you say you're not gonna do it, then God find a way to be like, boop, get on over there and do it. And so for me to
Yep.
be an attorney and do what I do, that's pretty much how it happened. You know what I'm saying? So like when I was in Little Rock before I came back to Pine Bluff, the mayor had appointed me to these commissions. I was on all these other boards and stuff. I was an adjunct professor. I was doing all this stuff. And then some kind of way, I I got this I'm doing all this great stuff over here. Bam. I'm in Pine Bluff again. I'm back in Pine Bluff. And so as I'm in Pine Bluff now, I found myself at the same places. I'm supporting AAU basketball teams, little programs. Uh, Nice Aldridge got me on the board for the Boys and Girls Club, got me helping over there. I'm going to churches, nursing homes. I'm working with people like D. Clay and Deborah Allen and just trying to do my part to make sure that everything is good. And the good thing about it is my rewards come different from
Mm-hmm.
everybody else's rewards. Like a lot of people looking for monetary rewards or whatever, but you know, things happen for me and happen to
Mm-hmm.
me. And,
Doors
and
open.
when it happened, I always sit back and be like, dang, I wonder why I got
Yeah.
this. I wonder why that happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's on like God's favor for me. That's all it
I
is.
think those things happen because of those those seeds you've been planting, bro. I really believe that because of the seeds you've been planting, the harvest. They always talk about the harvest is plenty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those seeds that you planted, sometimes it turns back good for you. You had a heavy yield,
Mm.
a good return,
Yes, I take that.
a good return, and I think that's the benefit of being a good dude.
Thanks.
And so I shout outs to you, man. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in, man. We need y'all to share this. This your boy Big Nate, the real underground radio station. This Nate Logic, baby. I know I'm gonna get a joke or two off of that. You probably just stewing. I already see it in your face.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
No jokes.
What happened?
Cause I got in trouble about saying something somebody else said, so I'm not. I can't crack jokes right now because I might say the wrong thing.
Okay.
You just have to understand. You have to be there.
This is a benefit having someone like you said earlier and a few minutes ago, Efrem, that you were in Little Rock and you were on all these different boards. You were here and there, and the that's a true blessing for the city of Pine Bluff because just keep it a buck, you can go anywhere.
Yeah, I could.
But you chose Pine Bluff, and that's what we need. We need people like you who choose Pine Bluff. People who, and I'm saying all of us are good for Pine Bluff, no matter where you are in life. But people who choose Pine Bluff.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is about you saying is it is a choice, because I won't lie and be like I have not been solicited to be somewhere else, and I have turned down going other places because I choose Pine Bluff, and I just think that we can write it, and I think that when we write it, it'll be a whole lot better. I mean, I was at Amos Chapel the other day, and we were talking to some children, and I kept hearing the pastor say, you guys are the future. You know what I mean? Saying, y'all are next judges, our next lawyers, our next doctors, our next everything. He just was going down the list, and I was thinking about that, and in my mind, I kept saying, well, I wanna effectuate what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a person who grooms some people to come and be an attorney, and I help that person be the best attorney ever. You know what I'm saying? And then when I stop being an attorney and I help this person, I impart enough wisdom on them so that they could be successful. And that's what the mentality of Pine Bluff should be. It should not, be well. We're not gonna groom the next generation. We're just gonna say it, but we're not gonna do it. We have lost. We have. I mean, if you just look out there at all the people that we have doing great things in other places, why can't they do it in Pine Bluff? I mean, what makes them not want to do it at home where we are? Is it that they just don't want to do it, or is it that they don't have the opportunity to do it?
Mm.
We have to retain some of this talent, this homegrown talent that we're losing. We have to figure it out. We got a whole 2 colleges, you know what I'm saying? 2 of them. And they producing great people. All those people may not be from Pine Bluff, but normally when you got a college, you retain, some of the people.
Right, right.
They don't just all get up and go. You know what I
Right.
mean? So we just have to focus our efforts on, one, with this clinic, helping people be in better positions and be better people in Pine Bluff.
All right.
2, grooming the next generation to come and help Pine Bluff grow with new ideas. Not just holding on because you were successful 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but using that knowledge to go with the new knowledge that these young folks have, and they're bringing to the table. Say, okay, well, damn, you got some new great ideas. I'm gonna give you these old ideas I had, and tell you some of the pitfalls and stuff, and some of the successes, and then you build off of that.
And you apply some of that progressive new information to that, and like you said, you build off that. I think that's the challenge that we've been having.
That's
in
the
Palm
challenge,
Bluff.
because it's a big deal that you got all this knowledge and all this wherewithal about something, and instead of you imparting that information on the next generation, what you do is you take it with you and don't give them anything, and say, okay, I'm taking it with me. Now you figure it out on your own. So what did you do for the city? What did you do for that man or that woman? You didn't do anything for them.
And then instead of you also pouring it back into the next generation,
Right.
you hold the city back, you hold the whole community back because now you just took your ball and went home.
Right. We gotta find a way to move the whole community forward together. And guess what? There are some people out there who believe that. I mean, in all the generations, you know what I'm saying? There are young people who believe that it's their time to help. There are people in the middle who believe it's their time to help. There are people who are older who believe it's their time to help and to help down and help up and make it all work together.
Mm-hmm.
To stop the separatism and bring everybody together. I mean, that's what we need. We need a together movement to move Pine Bluff forward. A together movement would be the
Mm-hmm.
strongest thing to help us get
Mm-hmm.
back on track.
I agree, and I'll say these two names because I have a personal relationship. I've told Ryan Watley and I've told Jack Foster if there was a way that we could marry the two, if we could take Jack Foster's wisdom and Ryan's progressive and collaborative abilities and put all them as one, Pine Bluff would be unstoppable.
Well, I know that'd be a heck of a person. Shoot, that'd probably be pretty powerful right
Hey
there.
man, I'm just saying, and I've told Mr. Foster this several times. You know, he feel how he feel, and of course, I'm not here to. I got real love for both gentlemen, right?
Yeah.
Both have sat in that chair, so I'm not saying anything that I ain't told them. If we could figure out a way to build that bridge with the wisdom, the experiences Mr. Foster has, and find a way to impart that in the Dr. Watley, and then put that progressive, that collaborate, the ability to think outside of the box and to collaborate and build relationships that Watley has. In the man, look at here.
I'm not gonna touch that.
Of
I'm gonna
course,
stick with the. Hey, we're gonna get these people's records still September 16th from 9 to 12
yeah.
at Old St. James Church, and we're gonna have the University of Arkansas, Delta. Oh, was that on camera?
Yes.
Delta Justice Center, the Neely Law Firm, and Legal Aid. We're gonna have the clerk's office. We're gonna have we're gonna have three clerk's offices because the I forgot. Judge Bridgeforth clerk office and Judge Kearney's clerk office should be there as well because each will sign off on things that apply to their courts. It should be Judge Bridgeforth, Judge Kearney, Judge Gwynn, and I believe Jody Dennis, Judge Dennis. Then you have at their Haddon from the city attorney's office with someone there, and then Kyle Hunter having someone there. And like I say, it'll be a one-stop shop. We're excited. We're looking forward to everybody coming out. We just want to help you get back to where you could be successful and you can move your home, your family, your community, your city, your county, and your state forward.
Well, man, I am so excited for this event. I'm excited for the people, for the 105 that we know are signed up,
Yes.
and I'm hoping. Let me ask you a question. Did you guys have a specific goal on people?
No goal. We just want to do as many as we can in the time that we have.
So okay, let's say you guys got 105 signed up now. How many? If you don't, of course, you don't have a goal.
Right.
If you don't meet them that day, right? If it's too many people, will they expand it? How will they?
I haven't really talked to them about that part. That's a good question. I don't know if. Well, one thing I know for sure is this: is that the Delta Justice Center and Legal Aid, they can always provide free legal services to help people get things done. You know what I'm saying? So as far as like the private attorneys, who I don't have that whole list now, which I did. As far as the private attorneys who will be participating, so I don't know, what they'll be doing going forward, but I'm pretty sure that, Delta Justice Center and Legal Aid will be plenty.
Okay, so
for sealing records.
So once again, we have the Constitution Day,
Yes.
September the 16th,
Yes.
Old St. James. You know the address to Old St. James?
I do. 4512 South Ohio Street, Pine Bluff, Arkansas 71601.
All right, so Constitutional Day,
Yes.
where they're going to seal record sealing event,
Correct.
September 16th, 4512 Ohio Street, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. You can come get your record sealed.
Yes.
One-stop shop.
Yes.
It'll take them a couple of minutes to get it done, and they can put you on your way.
I don't know if
And
it's a couple of minutes, but we'll get it done.
they're gonna get it done.
Yes.
We're not gonna promise refreshments, so bring you a 4 for 4. You can't eat in the church though.
Oh, we're gonna be in the activity center.
Oh, you can't eat in the activity center, so bring you a 4 for 4. And they'll probably have some bottled water
Yeah, we'd
there.
advise you not to bring a phone.
I'm just saying, man, they might be hungry.
That means too many people to do that. Don't do that. Keep your snick in your pocket.
Do something, man. They might be hungry. Y'all ain't gonna even get these folks bananas or I'm gonna call Jamal and have him to figure that out.
We said at the beginning, Nate, that we didn't know.
I might bring my
It may be refreshments. I don't know.
call some of your fraternity brothers and tell them to bring the grill or something.
Nate, bring the grill or something. You the fraternity brother, and you got the idea, and you do a lot of cooking on social media. Why don't you come on out with your grill?
Let's see what. Well, I'm gonna bring. Yeah. See,
how you do that? Turn it back on it. See how you do it? See how I do that right there.
Efrem, man, I know you got a million things going on. Anything you gotta say before we get out of here, man?
Well, I just want to say thank you, everybody, and I appreciate it. And get out and vote this next election season. I plan on getting out in one of these elections, so be looking for my name, Neely. And
Hold on, do we have a big announcement?
nope, not today. But I just told you to be looking for my name, Neely.
Thought you was announcing on the Nate Logic show, man. We gonna.
I don't have a big announcement, but be looking for the name Neely in the near future. And hey, y'all keep supporting Jefferson County, Lincoln County, City of Pine Bluff, and change that mindset. We are not trying to get back to where we were. We are trying to improve and do better. We are trying to create a new legacy for Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Hey, we just got another couple of questions here. I know we're trying to get out of here. One of them is Jihad Muhammad. I think you've done actual
I know who he is.
prison time. I don't think you can. I think it's.
Yeah, what was his question?
He wants to know what about mine.
If he so I don't know what his is. Does he say what his is?
Now, Jihad, do you know what your act? I think he got.
Just ask him if he went to prison.
Yeah, he did go to prison.
So if he went to prison, he has to get a pardon from the governor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So if you go to prison in the state, you got to get a pardon from the governor. If you go to prison in federal prison, you got to get a pardon from the president. Sealing records, which used to be called expungement, is only for people who are put on probation. And hey, this is an education piece for people too. Can I drop it right quick?
Yes, please.
So one thing I have to tell all my clients is that if you get probation on something, you did not get a get out of jail free card. What you have gotten is a prison sentence that you are being allowed to serve in the free world. And your probation officer is your probation guard. He or she is not your friend. They're not there to be buddy-buddy with you. And you learn that once you do a couple things wrong and you see the petition to revoke your probation and you see your probation officer's name on the bottom and the thing you thought wasn't a big deal, having a dirty UA or missing an appointment, any of those things, you will see all of that listed on there. So what I want to tell you is if you're lucky enough to get probation on something you've done that you could have gone to prison for, do exactly what it says. Finish it up. Get it behind you. Don't test it. Because what happens is you will go to prison if they revoke you for it. So just know that probation is not a get out of jail free card. And that is why these you can have it sealed, because you did what you were supposed to do to avoid going into the prison system. So it's almost like a reward. Well, you did what you're supposed to do. You didn't go to prison. We're going to seal it for you, okay? So
I got one more question. If you have already had a record sealed years ago, can you have another one sealed?
well, technically, you on the surface it was saying that you haven't. But to be honest, I know people who have had multiple records sealed. So that's my answer to that question.
So again, come Tuesday. I mean, excuse me. So again, come see what you can get done. Come see to the Constitutional Day, September the 16th, 4512 Ohio Street, 9 a.m. at
Old
Old
St.
St.
James
James.
Missionary Baptist Church, pastored by Pastor
David
David
Smith.
Smith Jr.
Is it Junior?
I think so.
I think yeah, it is Junior.
I think so.
Jamal Gordon is the master of music or whatever.
I think he the minister of music.
Whatever they call it.
And then Miss Cook, she over the
Usher board.
yeah, and the buildings that you lease out and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
man. So shout out to Old St. James.
Yep.
Shout out to Neely Law Firm.
Thanks.
Give me some other names.
Okay. Shout out to the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff and Grenita Johnson for
Yes.
organizing all this.
Yes.
Attorney Tabitha Lee and Delta Justice Center. And to Legal Aid, who's always out there with the least amount of money helping the most people.
Yeah. Any Kyle Hunter in his office.
Yeah.
Althea
Scott.
in her office. I'm sorry.
Judge Gwynn in his office, Judge Dennis in her office, Judge Bridgeforth in her office, Judge Kearney in his office, and then the clerks. So
All
Miss
these
Flo.
people.
What's Miss Flo last name now? Flora Cook was her last name? I don't know her last name now. She got married. Yes, Miss Flora Bishop. Thank you so very much.
Shout out to all these people giving up their Saturday to help Pine Bluff, Jefferson County, anybody in the area to help get their record seal. Constitution Day. Make sure y'all sign up, baby. This your boy Big Nate. We baby. This the Nate Logic man. Hey, this my dog Efrem Esquire Neely. Esquire.
Hey, I like that. Say it again. look, say it again.
Esquire. Esquire Neely, baby. Ooh, we, baby. It's Nate Logic, baby. The real underground radio station. Hey, make sure y'all like and share this conversation, man. If somebody had any questions, concerns, anything like that, hey, you can reach back out to me. You can reach out to Efrem. You can reach out to the real send us a message. We can help you figure this out. If you don't know if you're eligible for it, go anyway. Go anyway. Let them folks tell you no.
Yeah.
Don't deny yourself, baby. Go let them tell you no. And whatever happens, at least you'll know where you stand. Constitution Day, September 16th, 9 a.m., 4512 Ohio Street, Old St. James. We, baby. This the Nate Logic, baby, the real underground radio station. Hey, I got the 870 show coming up in here in a minute, man. Y'all better be ready. I got the hardest pit in the little. Big Six, Iceman Buddy, Body Low. Hey, man.